Saludos y bienvenidos a todos to the PGP podcast. Hey, welcome and greetings from North Carolina. Beautiful country out here. Enjoying my time, my visit last night. But hey, Joshua Watt, principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland, ISD, Garland, USA, home of the Jaguars, representing this part of Texas, well, North Texas, right now in North Carolina, as we're going to present about the great things that are happening in our campus. But before I get into that, about the presentation about being in North Carolina, remember that we want to thank you for being here today. We want to thank you for giving us some of your time. And right now we're adjusting things. I know we might have some people not on board because they're used to our 5 p.m. Central. That's okay. If you watch this on the rebroadcast, please like and share it. Like and share it. We need your help, please, to make sure you spread that algorithm, spread that knowledge to everybody that's out there. Remember that the PGP podcast is comprised of the Fantastic Four, and I can't be screaming like I always do in my house because I'm in a hotel and I don't know who's right next to me in this room or that. You know what I'm talking about, Moreno. I don't know who's out there, and I don't know what's happening. So, hey, remember, we're part of the Fantastic Four. We have Sean Hurd every Saturday, Super Saturday. We have Sean Hurd who talks about dealing with data. Right now, as you're starting to plan those budgets, that Title I money, bring in that guy. You need that guy to come and help you. Once you get those results coming in May or in June, bring him over. He'll break down. He likes to say, message him. He'll sit down with you and break down that data, and then you can bring up how you could visit your leadership team. And then after that, last night, broke bread with both of them. Broke bread with Tammy and with Sheikah here in North Carolina. The doctors, where they talk about culture, about different generational gaps that you have within the work environment. So if you want someone that brings that PD, that they know how to do it. In other words, what I mean by that, they raised their school grade 3 grades, 2 grades, the 2 different principals in 1 year. You want turnaround change agents. Those are the 2 ladies that you want on your campus. And finally, El Jefe, Principal Cafele, who's coming in already right now, going to visit North Carolina's conference. Also, we'll be seeing Jefe tomorrow and making sure we break bread with him. Also, I don't need to say anything else about El Jefe. Principal Baridi Cafele, reach out to him. He'll talk to you about how to help out these youths. He'll help you all talk about how to promote the environment that's appropriate for all those individuals that need your assistance at the campus. And we are the fourth show, PGP podcast here, where we talk about everything. It doesn't matter what, whether it be alumni today. These are my former students that reached out to them and I said, hey, I want you on my podcast. I want to see what your thoughts. Have we done a good job in education? And you know what? I know that they're going to bring the fire today on the show. Or we have superintendents, we have principals, we have teachers. It doesn't matter who. This is not a specific niche show. This is about the whole gamut of education, and great shows are around the corner, making sure that you get the best version of us. And most importantly, that you get this information, because if you're in Maine or you're in Florida, if you're in Alaska or you're in Hawaii or anywhere in the 48 middle, we're all facing the same obstacles. We're all facing the same adversity. We're all here for one goal to make sure that our scholars become the best version of themselves and we meet them where they're at. And we have all the tools of success thanks to our awesome panelists of the last 97 shows. Moreno, what'd you think about that? 97 consecutive live shows. What'd you think there, Moreno?
Oh, God bless America. Let me tell you, Joe, I am super excited because guess what? Not every podcaster can say they've gone 100 shows consecutively live. So you know what? Kudos to you. Congratulations. I cannot wait for our 100th show because it's going to be a blast. And guess what? Talking about blast, I'm at home. You can see my spiders. I'm in Houston, Texas. But I am enjoying the beautiful weather outside. Let me tell you, it's 1 o'clock Central Time in Houston, Texas. Beautiful. Yesterday was the last day of the Houston Rodeo, and I tried to show up, and I didn't have tickets, and they sold out. So you know what? Wonk, wonk, wonk. I guess I'll have to go next year.
You know what, Moreno? On TikTok, I've been hearing a lot about your Houston rodeo and how people go dress there. And about all this violence going on, I don't know, Moreno. I'd rather not know what's going on in that crazy town of yours.
You know what? Maybe that's why I didn't get to go in. Maybe that was God's way of saying, "Quédate en la casa. Why are you out here? It's 9:30 p.m. What are you doing here at such a crazy time? Go home." And you know what? I came home, and I don't know what happened. I didn't check the news. But you know what? I'm glad, I'm safe, I'm happy. But it has been crazy. It's spring break in Houston, Texas, and we have the rodeo combined. There is millions of people, and the traffic is awful. But you know what?
Horrible.
That's terrible. But you know what? I'm glad to be with such an amazing panel because you know what? Students are our customers. They are our
Exactly.
customers, and we want to make sure that we are doing exactly what we need to do to get them prepared. So, what better than to have them come back to the show and tell us, hey, did we prepare you? Did we give you all the tools that you need so that you can be a better, productive citizen and contributor to our beautiful world. So I'm super excited to hear about all the wonderful things that you did as principal. Because you know what? These kids are not going to lie, they're going to
Oh
tell us
no.
the truth.
Oh no, not at all. For sure, for sure. But normally this is the time that we go into. Oh, and real quick, for our 100th show, Moreno, I was thinking, how are we going to bring it in? How are we bringing it in? And what are we going to do? And you know what, Moreno? I'm going to call that show Vamos a hacer tamales. Vamos a hacer tamales. Or, as Joan Rivers used to say, I'm showing my age, Joan Rivers, can we talk? I'm going to talk about those things that we don't talk about. Teacher dress
Mm.
code, giving,
Oh,
giving
I have some
zeros,
stories about that, Josh. I have some
giving,
stories.
giving zeros instead of 50s or 50s instead of zeros. Oh, or can an elementary principal go become a high school principal without ever working in high school? Can a senior AP teacher get moved the next year without any problems to become a freshman teacher? Ah,
Ah,
those are the
there's a lot.
shh, those are the hush hush. Those are those little undercurrents that Jimmy Casas talks about. But hold
Mhm.
that thought. That's for the 100th episode. But before that, we had a great scholar in the past, and we had a great superintendent. Now he's retired, but that guy is not lazy. He's not walking around with his black socks and Venice Beach with his chanclas, with his Hawaiian shirt, with his little straw hat. This guy is becoming an author. Welcome to the show, Dr. Rob Martinez, and tell everybody who you are and why you're visiting us today. Instead of the Chinchinawa woman, you're going to help us out with this awesome book.
Thank you so much for having me back, Josh and Maria. It's such a pleasure to be with you. Yes, Rob Martinez. And I didn't know just vacationing was a complete option for retirement. Nobody told me. So thank you. I'll consider that. But otherwise, after 38 years of being a public educator, I actually started as a school psychologist for half of my career, moved into site administration, was a principal, director of human resources, assistant superintendent of human resources, superintendent. And I completed my career last year. I was doing two different jobs. I was an acting superintendent and an assistant superintendent of HR. And that was about 9 months of too many two jobs. So it was like, you know what? It's time to retire. But as I've retired, you're right. The energy is still there. And in fact,
Mhm.
the flow is even greater because you have a little bit of time to
Yes.
think and to process, which I love. And one of the things that I do is I tinker around with my computer and I write, I blog. And the current story that's out right now, I've actually editioned it. It was a story that I had a dream about in 2018. I woke up one morning and I said, I have to write this down. And so I hit my computer, and my wife's like, "What are you doing, you crazy person?" I said, "I have to write it down. I had the story." And so I published it, but with no illustrations, and just kind of went out there. So as I retired, I kind of tinkered around and worked on some illustrations and put this book back out there. And let me tell you about this book. After 38 years as a public educator, the one guiding thing that you come back to is kids and kindness. And no matter what else we can work on, if we're helping our children foster a sense of compassion,
Mhm.
empathy, caring, kindness for others and especially for themselves, then
Mm.
we're doing the important work. So much of the work, the craziness of administration, the craziness of decision making, the craziness that happens every day, we lose sight of sometimes the
Mhm.
kids.
Mhm.
So, as now a grandfather, I have four sons and now two grandbabies. The book that I put together is called The Story of Sparkle and Shine. And
It's a children's book.
it's a children's book, but it's not. But it is. So it's, as a grandparent, I wanted to have one of those things to have my little babies with me and to talk to them and to read to them. And so my children are now doing this. When I get the babies, I'm going to be able to do it. But the story surrounds is about elves. Elves, everybody loves elves, but really it's about this one elf who, after years and years and hundreds of thousands of years, decided he needed to do something different. He needed to make a
Mm.
difference with other people. He needed to spread positive acts regarding kind, loving encounters. And what can that mean? Saying hello in the morning, opening a door, buying
Mm.
somebody coffee, letting the other car go,
Mhm.
just kindness, kindness. And because, elves, like many of us, we can get into the drudgery of our day and we can forget to do these things. But when you start doing it, it becomes part of your nature, part of who you are, and part of your culture and environment. So, for a person, for a school system, for the children in the system, if they start doing that, they feel better. We all feel better. And the story goes that little Sparkle here starts doing this and doing this. And then, you know what? Other elves start doing it too.
Mhm.
As the story plays out, he's creating some magic that really just cannot be stopped. And through his magic and his energy, he brings about shine. Shine is actually a new elf, and shine stands for significantly help increase niceness everywhere. So you've got sparkle and shine. And, it's just a lovely tale, I think, that, people can read to kids, but it's really about empowerment, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Mhm.
we feel like we can't make a difference. And so we're just kind of, in a doldrum or suppressed. But you can have power. You
Mhm.
can exert
Mhm.
your own identity, your agency on others. And when you do, you see a dramatic difference in other people.
Yeah.
I try and live by this. It's kind of crazy because you think, am I a good person? Am I not a good person? But when you start to do these things, you do it more. And when you start to do it more, you see it in others. And that's the power of love, right? And the power of kindness. So the book is out there. It's on available through Amazon. And if I could, I'm going to do one thing. If there are three people who are watching the show and you'd like a copy of the book, send me an email. At my email's out there. It's resiliencyguy@gmail.com and say, I saw you on the PGP.
Oh!
You got to get that in that email. Send me your address. I won't sell it to anybody else, but I will send you a copy of the book. That's three. So the first three emails I get that follow those directions, you're going to get a copy of the book. But, I've used this story talking to small groups of kids. And you know who loves it? The teachers. Because
Mhm.
kids sit there and the teachers go, oh my gosh, I've been trying to work on kindness and I've been telling him to be nice and be nice and be nice. And it's like, you know what? Sometimes the niceness has to come from an authentic place. And kids want calm. They want to have safe environments. They want to be able to empower themselves and connect with others. So that's the goal. It's not about selling books, but it's about people being able to touch a book, feel the love of reading, and engage kids with characters that also foster their own resilience.
I love the whole premise of your book. That is such, and let me tell you one reason, Dr. Martinez. one of the things that I've, again, in my experience, 30 years in education, 20 as a newcomer principal, many of our children have never had to share their compassion. We actually, and I think Josh can probably attest to this, with our newcomers, because they don't understand how to be empathetic, how to kind of show, that the caring, because they're always in survival mode in their own
Right.
countries. And
Oh,
so when they
yes.
come here they're learning the new way of life here in education and school, that we have to teach them those things. And when they're
Right.
a little older, a book like that can go a long way. So I
Yes.
absolutely love the whole reason why you did the book. And I love it. When you said it's a children's book, I was thinking, what? This is
Well, and,
great.
and that's the sneaky part, right? Because I'll tell you this one little story if I have time. I was buying a car one day. Actually, it was a truck. I went to go get a truck and I went to the dealer and, they were like, and I had done my homework, so I knew what I was going to get. And the guy was like, oh, well, I can tell you this and I can tell you that. And I said, no, I just want this. And he got grumpy. He's like,
Mm.
fine. Rah, rah, rah. And, we did the 3 hours of paperwork and we did the car. And my wife's like, why am I still here? But, we ended up buying the car. Right. And I left and I had a copy of the book in my car, my other car.
Ah.
So I went back and I said, I saw your pictures on the back of your wall there. It looks like you're a grandpa. He goes, yeah. I said, okay, well, take this book and read it and then read it to your grandkids. 2 hours later, there's a message on my phone saying, hi, Mr. Martinez. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. And I really kind of loved your book. And I'm going to try better. I'm going to try doing some things better. And it was like, whoa.
Whoa.
I
Yeah.
mean, here's this
Mhm.
guy who's like just doing his day, but he's a business guy and he's grumpy. I'm like, maybe I made a little impact with him. So I
Yeah.
think there's hope for all of us. There
And
is.
we need it so much right now. Right
Yeah,
now, those are the skills that our children are not getting. And we need to bring that back into our society and be kind. And
absolutely.
people are just ugly to each other now. It's like there's no
Yeah,
filter.
right. Well, and through my work and just what I've done on resilience, I always say, let the lives we help other people live be the measure of our success. So if we can create a positive impact on others, then we're doing okay. But if we're not, then we have to reflect. We have to set our compass again and try some more. Try some more because it's so important that we do well for each other.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Where can people get a hold of that book one more time? Where can they get it?
So you can buy it on Amazon. It's out there. The Story of Sparkle and Shine. Never forget, second edition. Or again, little contest there. 3 people who email me resiliencyguy@gmail.com or at Gmail and let me know you heard it on the PGP podcast. 3 of you will get a free copy of the book. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Josh and Maria. I am so proud of my efforts. And you know what? There's going to be some more because people are
Absolutely.
starting to like it. And I'm like, all right, let's do some more stories. There's more stories to be had and more telling of tales with children and adults. So thank you so much.
I
Loved it. Thank
appreciate
you for
you and
being
good
here.
luck. Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and go to Amazon myself and I'm going to get me my copy because
Buy
I
a
love
thousand
it.
of them. That'd be cool.
There you go. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you. God bless you. Have a great rest of your
All right.
Sunday.
Have a great show. Yep. We'll see you later. See you. I'll be
Bye
watching.
bye.
Awesome.
All right. Bye now.
And
What a great book, Josh. That
now,
was a great book. Thank you for sharing.
exactly. And now our great panel
Hello,
is
hello.
here. We're
Good
almost
on.
there. We're almost there. Just real quick. Oh my Lord, Moreno. All these clicks on these buttons are getting me. I'm not like Chic. I don't have a producer. All right. Welcome, panel. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Just a quick reminder, my former students, remember, if you're not talking, like we learned in COVID, make sure that you are on mute. That way we get no feedback during the show. And without further ado, mi corazón, my heart goes out to all of you. Alyssa, I'm still seeing the top of your head. Lower the phone. Okay, I don't want to see the top of your head. What's wrong with you?
Todavía es bien regañón.
All right. Ed Moreno, stick. Take it away.
I'm super excited to actually meet some former students of Mr. Tovan here. So I'm super excited to have all of you guys here. And just like I started at the beginning of the show, it is important to hear from our customers. As former principals, people don't realize that our students are our customers. We have to make sure that all of you are getting what you need, your education met, remove all the obstacles, and making sure that you get a great quality education to make sure that you guys grow up to be amazing people doing amazing things. And guess what? We're going to get to find out how we did. Our report card today, Josh, is going to be our report card. It's your report card. So, guys, without further ado, I'm going to start off with Paula. Paula, and this question actually goes for all of you, but we're going to start off with Paula. Paula, just because we're on a live show and people want to know who you are, let's go ahead and just start off by telling the audience a little bit about yourself. Give them a brief summary, just brief, of the different steps you took to reach your current role, because you're no longer a high school student. You've graduated, you've moved on, you went through the Memorial Pathway Academy. Now, where are you? What are you doing? And yeah, a little bit of background.
Of course. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I'm extremely excited and feel blessed for the opportunity. My name is Paula Ayala Salas. I am a client services manager for a Fortune 500 company. And
Okay, Paula, hold on. We can't hear you anymore. Something
oh,
happened.
can you hear me?
It's your mic, the microphone. Your video is fine. It's your mic.
Can you
Have I
hear me?
tried? No, you were a second ago. Why don't you do this? Let me go with somebody else. Why don't you log on and come back on again? Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to Alyssa. Alyssa, can we start off with you? And then Paula's gonna come back in.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm sorry, I caught some of this what you told me to say the statement about, but I didn't hear the beginning.
It's okay. It's okay. So again, I know you are a former student from
Yes, ma'am.
Memorial Pathway Academy. So give just the audience, the virtual people out in the world, a brief summary of the different steps you took to reach your current role, because you're no longer a student. So talk to us about what you're doing and what it took for you to get there.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I had Mr. Tovar. Mr. Tovar, he knew everything that I was going through. It was a struggle. Um, I can say that this is hard because okay. Um, I I done
Okay, so
got
let me help you. It's okay. It's okay.
um
So what do you do? Where are you at now? Where do you live?
Duncanville, Dallas.
Oh, you
Dallas.
live in Dallas. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you do now? Where are you working at?
I'm currently not working. I'm looking for a job now.
Okay.
I was in college and then they didn't tell me what a dropout, like what it meant. So when I went and dropped out those two classes, it made me owe them a balance. So I'm in the middle of getting that taken care of. But I do really miss college. I do. Um, I have a baby now, which I waited till I graduated. So,
Good. Good girl.
um, I mean, other than that, taking care of my mom, uh, myself. I got a
Life as an
puppy.
adult is different, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
different.
Well, awesome,
Um,
awesome. So you're going through college now.
I'm trying to, yes, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about your um how you got to where you are and the other questions that are following. Okay, so right now all we're doing is where you are and where. So right now you're still going through the college experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see, Paula. Can I hear you?
Is it working now?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me try again.
You're very staticky.
Yeah, it's real static.
Staticky.
You have a lot of static.
I'm finna say, look where the mic is, and you can change the iPhone, change the iPhone microphone.
Maybe. Let's go to Amaris while she's kind of playing with her microphone.
Hello.
Hi, Amaris.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay, so I am a substitute teacher for Socorro Independent School District. I am still going to school. I've had a career change. I wanted to be a teacher, but now I'm looking to go into law enforcement, the police department.
Nice. Awesome. So are you finished with school yet, or you're going through
I'm
this?
almost done, almost.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
1 year, 2 years?
December.
Qué bonito, qué bonito. Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about your journey, right? And how, because there's a lot of students out there that, like me, I am not an educator because I went through school to get an education. I kind of changed careers at the end, during college. So that's great information for a lot of our other people who are listening to the podcast and how you decided to do that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later, okay?
Okay.
How about you, Jerry? Tell us a little bit about where you're calling in from and what are you doing and your pathway to get to where you are.
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sherry Aguirre, and I'm calling from El Paso, Texas. I stayed here local. I mean, even though I have the opportunity of literally going anywhere in the world, but I don't know, home is just home, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I graduated from the best class ever, 2008, with Mr. Tovar from Isleta High School. And right after that, I was kind of a little bit undecided. I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm pretty much, I know that a lot of people go through that, as soon as they graduate high school. And I had to change careers a couple times. Originally, I wanted to go to be an FBI agent. But
Mm.
then, one of my friends, Eddie Gardea, convinced me to take the customs test and the border patrol test. And almost 15 years later, here I am as a U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank
I
you.
know going federal is a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know my boyfriend is a police officer. And so he always tells people you need to go federal. You need to go do customs or something. So kudos to you, sir. And I'm sure you're very, very busy right now. But
Yes.
thank you again for coming today on the show and talking to all of our students and former students and people who are listening to this podcast to see what can we do better, what can we do as a school system to ensure people like all of you guys on this show today, to ensure that we're doing the best that we can do to make sure that you guys get what you need to be able to start a family and get married and have a job and a career, not just a job, but a career, right? That can actually pay you a pension when you actually retire and you're old, like Josh and I when we're retiring. But kudos to you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Josh, I'm super excited. Oh, we may have Paula back. Check me again, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, I'm super happy that you got back on the show, my friend. So, do you remember the question?
I do. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Well, first and foremost, thank you to all of our viewers for your patience while I always experience these technical issues. Resiliency, right? Muchas ganas. My name is Paula Ayala. I am a client services manager for a Fortune 500 company. I'm a mother of three, and I am a long life student of life. And I'm also a very proud Mexican American as well.
Interesting. Wow, a Fortune 500 company. Mira. Josh, you've done some amazing work here, sir, because all of
Yes.
these students, I won't even call them kids anymore. I know, not even students because they're nice young adults. And I'm just super excited for all of the passion and the work. And because you know what? Raising children is what I call it, right? Sometimes when we're in schools, we become the parents sometimes because we get to do a lot of that stuff. And look, even my friend here is nodding her head because we as principals, as educators, as teachers, we have to sometimes light that fire underneath our students so that they can dream big and do great things. So kudos to you, sir. These are a great group of people on our panel today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's great to always be with my former babies. They're still my babies. Doesn't matter. I spent too much time with them, not being by their side and promoting them and pushing them along. So this, I want to give the right props. This show and the previous show is all inspired by Principal Caffelli, who always talks about: do you talk to your former students? Did you create a bond with your students to where they could give you feedback? And then that's a great thing. So I ask all you administrators out there: have you gotten feedback from your former students? And so that's the purpose of the show. So I'm going to start off with you, Amaris, on this next question right now. I don't want you to go into a big detailed because this question is very broad, okay? But Amaris, do you feel that the education you went through, if you started from pre-K, Head Start, all the way to your college years, anywhere, do you feel that the education system prepare you for where you're at right now? Yes or no?
I I believe it did.
Give me a little bit more.
Like I was in early college, so the teachers were a little more strict on us, and that kind of prepared me for like actual college. Going to UTEP. I also attended McMurray, so I feel that helped me out. Also, being in the medical program at Socorro, the teachers were strict on us. They would be on our tails about everything, so that helped me out a lot as an adult.
So you think you had a good foundation from elementary to middle school to high school to where you're at right now, looking at criminal justice.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts, Jerry. Talk to me.
Um, so I'm gonna give a two answer on that one. So number one, yes, I believe the school system was very effective, even though it needed a little bit more in the specific way of, like, for example, grown up life. Nobody tells us about taxes. Nobody tells us about the mortgages and all this stuff. And I remember taking a class in college, an economics class, and it kind of went into stocks and how mortgages really work, because I couldn't simply understand how you could be paying a home literally like your entire life, right? If it was only, like, I mean, back in the day, it was, if you own $150,000 home, that was a lot, right? So, and you ended up paying close to 600,000 for that same home. So little stuff like that, I think, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go really too much into depth into that, because I know, as a high school student, that was probably like the last thing it would cross my mind, right? But at least, get these guys prepared to see what they're actually going to be dealing with on an everyday basis once they, take the leash on their own hands and start paying their bills instead of having their parents pay them. That was pretty much it. But other than that, I mean, I think the system was great. Mr. Tovar, I mean, I know you're our Jaime Escalante back in the day. You're trying to stand and
Woo!
deliver us, man. And I mean, you still are. You're still trying to, stay on top of things. And I appreciate you. I mean, at the time, I didn't understand that. I told you this many times, but now I consider you. I mean, you, sir, as one of the biggest educators that I've ever had.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir.
And yeah, so yes, he was prepared, but what Jerry's saying now that he's an adult, established young man, he would want kids nowadays to have more real world stuff. In other words, this is what your credit card is. This is what interest rates are. This is what a
Mhm.
mortgage, six
Mortgage.
months, 30 years. Things that you will hit the wall. That is that what you're trying to say right there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, the whole system was great. I mean, it got us to the knowledge that we needed to have as far as like mathematics and reading and writing, and the just pretty much the basics. But um maybe kind of like the more specialized education, kind of like how mortgages work, how credit cards are, the importance of having, especially here in the US. I mean, credit is everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the importance and the responsibility to make sure that you're on top of your payments and don't miss any payments, and don't spend more than what you earn and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's great. That's a great idea right there. Alyssa,
Great
talk to us.
feedback.
What
Mm-hmm.
did you think from elementary all the way to graduating at MPA?
I think it was, a lesson learned because, as you going from elementary to high school, you learning. So I feel like you learn more as you go. But once you get out of school, I feel like you learn more, like as if, not as if, like they took cursive out of school. I'm still trying to learn cursive. I'm still trying to read cursive. So I feel like it was beneficial, but then, some parts of it wasn't because some stuff we didn't learn as I forgot this guy name at the bottom. It
Jerry.
was a former student. Like he was saying with mortgage and all of that, they didn't really teach us that. So I feel like they should teach us that and put cursive and first and foremost praying. I feel like that would be a big push in school.
All right. So those little things that were left out in the past
Mhm.
should not have been left out anymore because you're
Right.
seeing what the benefits of all that is, right?
Right.
Okay, love it, love it. Paula,
Yeah, I think I could agree. Financial literacy was definitely an area of opportunity. But other than that, I feel like I had a very strong support system from the elementary all the way up to high school. Living in an underserved community, financial literacy. I recall having my mom go through workshops to help with like financial assistance programs and stuff like that. But as a student myself, I wasn't very well aware, at least self aware about areas that I needed to also kind of like lean in. It's funny
Mm-hmm.
because growing up, my mom did not speak English, right? So I she would take letters to me, léeme esto, and I would begin just reading letters, and I was trying to translate some of these financial words and just verbiage that I was like, no sé cómo se dice. So it was funny, or having her feeling, we were recipients of a lot of benefits, for underserved and low income households. So having her fill out the food stamps application and things like that. And I'm like, I don't know what this means, mom. So to Jerry's point, I think financial literacy was probably one of the areas of opportunities in my
Mm-hmm.
upbringing when it comes to the educational system. But outside of that, I had a lot of very influential and impactful people in my life that really helped me understand that there is a gap. However, when you grow up, and you become a mother and just a adult, it's areas for me to now come and teach my kids. Now my kids know about credit. My kids know about savings. My kids know about stocks and investments and, credit. It's a whole circle moment now.
thank you for sharing. That's very true. Those things that we cut out that now that they're adults are reflecting upon and need that foundation because it does make you a well-rounded individual, especially in the credit environment that we live in nowadays, especially if you want to buy these overpriced homes across the field.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, panel, for sharing your thoughts. Stick, Moreno.
Guys, and if you guys have not liked and share it, please like and share right now. Just stop what you're doing, like and share the show, because you know what, hearing from these amazing former students is so impactful, because guess what, this is how we learn. My wheels are turning, and I'm not even a principal anymore, and my wheels are turning and figuring out what can we do. Our students, our former students, are talking to us. We need to be able to provide some really amazing opportunities for them, and they're speaking to us. So please, if you have not liked and shared, please do so right now so the algorithm will pick up and we can get more people to actually listen to all of the wonderful knowledge being shared today. So let's go back. I'm going to start off with I don't know where Jerry went. So let's go with Alyssa. Alyssa, um, let's look back on your journey through schools, elementary, middle, high school, and you're still going through the college route right now, right? You're going through that. So, did you have an educator who inspired you to be who you are, what you wanted to do in life? And what was it that they told you that really kind of stayed in your head?
Uh, I can say the I can say Mr. Tober on this one because Mr. Tober, he real strict, but he he know where he wants you to be, and he wants you to be where you want to be. So he when he had got me and called me to his office and told me to do a what was the YouTube video. I can't remember what was all in it, but he definitely told me to follow my dreams, and one of my dreams was to be an engineer. So I was like, okay, I want to go to college for that. And so that's why I went ahead and went through college for it. So
Awesome.
that's that.
Awesome. So, did he ever were you ever one of those kids that were always kind of like going against him, and he would say stuff like, échale ganas or work really hard? Would you say like, "Man, like get away from me, dude. Like it's just too you're doing too much," like the kids say. You do too much.
The beginning, I kind of did, but then I realized that he only doing that to help me. So I started listening, and that's how I made it through school. I graduated. So
Yeah.
thank him for that.
And you know what? Educators out there, listen to what Alyssa just said. When you have principals like Tovar here, who's just pushing, and kids don't normally think it's nagging. We're nagging, right? But the
Thank you.
fact that he just kept on, you're agreeing with me, right, Alyssa?
Yeah, you think it's nagging, but it's really just them trying to get you in a better place.
Awesome, awesome. So don't give up on students. Keep on pushing, because one day, look at Alyssa. Alyssa's finally realizing that because Tovar did what he did, look at where you are, right? Because you probably would have never graduated if it wasn't for him pushing you to do it.
Right, because I would have got kicked out. How many times I would have got kicked out? you know, about what, 3, 4 times? Yeah. See,
I'm
yeah,
telling you, I'm telling you, and folks out there, administrators, teachers out there, listen to Alyssa. Alyssa, you remind me so much of me because I was that kid. I was that kid that I had a teacher, and because of this teacher, I am where I am today. Because of her, I would have probably dropped out myself. So
right.
Jerry, how about you? Is there going through your journey? I mean, you can talk about an elementary, middle, high school. Is there an educator out there that you can kind of think back and say, man, if it wasn't for this person, right, I wouldn't be where I am today because this person really, really kind of stuck with me because I era travieso. I was, I was that kid.
Yes, of course. I mean, I can't just stick with one, to be honest. My first educator would have probably been my pre-K teacher, Miss A. I pretty much came out reading from pre-K, so
Oh,
she was very very good with that. Um, After that, I would probably have to say the one that really inspired me to go into criminal justice would have been Mr. Muniz, our criminal justice teacher in Isleta, ex Secret Service agent, and we actually did a great little detail on Mr. Tovar one day. I don't know
yeah.
if you could recall that one. It was pretty
I want to
fun.
know.
So he was our president for the whole day, and we had to protect him. We had to, we were wearing suit and ties, and it was so much fun. And but yeah, and then finally, of course, Mr. Tovar, I already said it right now in the last question. He was like our dad in like throughout the 4 years of high school. That was actually pretty cool. I wish all the high schools could do that, where they're having an assistant principal go with the class from freshman all the way to senior, because you get to know your students, and you have that rapport with them, and at the end of the of the 4 years you start calling them dad pretty much. So but no, I think I would have to agree with Alyssa. I mean, at the time, we didn't think much of it. We thought it was just an assistant principal just trying to, like, oh man, like, just bother us. Like, oh, here comes dad. Like, he's gonna, and we would roll our eyes at him, but he didn't. He never gave up on us, and I'm very thankful for that.
Awesome, awesome. I think a couple of things that you said, we have to get the smartest, brightest, I mean, amazing teachers in front of our students so that they can then aspire to be. Because you said this teacher was an ex FBI or CIA agent or something. And
Secret Service.
Secret
So
Service.
yeah, and ex-marine as well. I forgot about that.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
if we can hire awesome people like this and put them in front of our kids, those same people are going to inspire the young ones. So it's important who we put in front of our students, right? Because that shares a lot. And Jerry, you said something also amazing, how your teacher did some fun things that were practical to support you. And look, you ended up being, not necessarily an FBI agent, but look, you're doing what you love to do in working for the what is it,
customs. Customs.
customs.
Yeah,
Yes, which is great. And look at the great opportunity you have and the wonderful activities that you did. So awesome, awesome work. Thank you so much. How
thank
about
you.
you, Paula? An educator that you can think of, it could be elementary, middle, or high, that inspired you. And what did they do? What did they say? Or
The
tell us the
good stuff.
story.
Yeah, I definitely can 100% confirm that. Not because Mr. Tovar's on, but he definitely made a huge impact in my life. When I was a senior year, my father passed away when I was 14 years old, so I never had a father figure during like my teen years, and it was just my mom trying to do the best with a rebellious teenager. And in my senior year, one of my older brothers got a job in San Antonio, and my mom decided that it was time for us to pick up our stuff and go. And there was about 3 4 weeks till graduation, and my mom said, well, I'm sorry, but we really need to move. And I told her, I can't move. I need to graduate. And even if we were moving to San Antonio, I don't know if the school system's the same. Maybe I need more credits. So I remember vividly going to Mr. Tovar's office and crying and telling him, my mom wants to take me. I can't do this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to graduate. And we just had a heart to heart. And, the father figure in him, he was a great, great human being. He continues to be. He said, okay, vamos a echarle ganas. Let me talk to your mom. Let me go ahead and ensure that we get you the support you need. Long story short, there was even a point where he even offered, he says, you need some sort of parent guardian. Let's find you one. If not, I can try to figure something out for you. He was a person that went above and beyond outside of the four walls of a school system to ensure that his students got the best of the support possible. So he eventually convinced my mom to leave me with one of my older brothers, and then he said, you know what, at that point, when she graduates, we'll send her over, you can come back and get her. And I'm so grateful because, in full transparency, in a very safe space, none of my brothers graduated from high school. So for my mom, it was the norm for us to just, do as hard as we could, push as hard as we could. And then ideally, like, financial stability was our priority, not an educational future. So having Mr. Tovar come in and just, give her some advice that she maybe didn't even know she needed really helped me finish my college. And now I have a master's degree. And I 100% think that Mr. Tovar was the most influential person in my life when it comes to just my personal and professional development.
Oh my God, what's a beautiful story. That is amazing because you know what? Because of his advocacy, look at where you are because you could have just ended up like your brothers, right? And
Absolutely.
so, I mean, we need educators like Mr. Tovar, and I would say myself too, Josh, okay? Just because my students are not here, I would say that, you know what? We have to continue to do that and advocate because, again, parents sometimes need to hear the hard and the reality of the situation. And so I'm super excited that Tovar was able to intervene like that. Amaris, I haven't forgotten about you, my friend. Tell me who inspired you, my friend, to be where you are today.
Honestly, um, I'm grateful for like every teacher I've had, every educator that's had to put up with like, me, because teachers I think are soldiers. Like I substitute and the stuff they have to deal with every day is like crazy. So I am grateful for any educator that I've had. Especially Mr. Tovar, he was great when he left Socorro. Like we were all like really sad teachers, students, like, we loved him. But the one educator for me would be my father because he is an assistant principal and I have him in my ear every day telling me like you need to do better, you need to get your education, you need to do this and that. So he's like my number one.
Oh, it's so nice. That's amazing. Josh, these are amazing students, kids. I still call them babies because, like you, to me, they never grow up. They're always going to be in my heart.
Very true, very true. So let's go back into the memory files. Let's go back into pre-K. Let's go back into your first grade when you made that ugly turkey with your hand and your mom put it in the refrigerator. Or let's go back when in second grade you did that the macaroni or the little elbows and you did the little dinosaur things and it fell apart when you picked it up because the glue was still dry. Or eighth grade or ninth grade. What is your best memory of school? Pre-K, Head Start, kindergarten, something that just stood out. I don't want to hear about no partying, all right? I don't hear no nonsense, all right? No, no, no. None of your shenanigans. I don't want to hear none of that. We know what you
Not
did.
skip day. Not skip day,
No, I don't
Josh.
want to know about senior ditch day. I don't want to know about my mom went out a weekend and then we had everyone at the house. No, something that was a memorable event. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you're all smiling. What was a memorable event that you can share with the audience, with other educators out there that you get you right here? You still remember, oh, I remember back we had this project. I remember back we had this field trip. I remember back we had this championship district team, whatever it might be, what air quotes, whatever that might be in your sphere. Amaris.
My junior year, I made it to regionals for track and field throwing shot put. Coming from Socorro, we don't really have the good athletes out there. So, for me to make it that far, it was a big deal for me.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that great accomplishment. And you're right. That's not what
Yes.
that school is known for. That's very true. Love it. Paula.
I think I have to say sophomore year. Once again, I we were financially unstable, so I got to travel for the very first time ever to San Angelo because of our soccer team statistics. I guess we were doing really good, and we got to travel to San Angelo, and it's like a core memory in my heart. I remember being so excited. My mom packing burritos for me and the entire soccer team, and she was like, "Vaya con Dios, mucho cuidado." And we drove, and I thought it was like the longest trip ever. It was only a couple of hours, not too many hours, but it was such a cool core memory because my first ever trip outside of El Paso, and it was just awesome. Overall, I got to meet new people. I got to learn about the university over there, and it kind of sparked an interest in me in learning. Like, wow, there's more than El Paso. There's more outside of El Paso. There's just so many opportunities, and I really need to ensure that I focus on my education so that I continue to get these type of opportunities.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Alyssa.
Okay, I think my favorite one was so we telling our favorite memory from like pre-K, right? Okay. When
Whatever
I,
year.
okay, I remember going outside on this tree because we used to have to get caterpillars and put them in a jar with a piece of like leaf, and they chew on the leaf so they can, you know, grow into a butterfly. I used to go home and I had a jar full of caterpillars and I just had a whole bunch of leaves in there. I used to love caterpillars. It was just one tree by the house and I just always went out there and got a caterpillar, but some of them was poisonous. So I didn't want to touch those, but that was my favorite one.
Awesome.
That was an original memory right there, young lady. Let me tell you, I would have never thought that you, my friend, would have brought up poisonous caterpillars on a podcast. I love it. That
Yes.
is totally original. Totally original. Jerry, close us off.
Well, you're really gonna laugh at my memory then, but I don't know. It's just something very, I guess, little. I guess nobody noticed it. But every single year, I would remember after winter break, once we start getting the heat in El Paso, the schools would turn on well, fix and clean the AC's the units, right? So I don't know. To me, having that smell of the swamp AC blowing into my face with the cold air after a hot day, running outside, playing soccer, football, whatever the case might be. I don't know. That little smell was just great because it just told me that it was. I mean, we were nearing the end of the year, so and I was about to go into the new year, so that was my best memory every single year.
Bro, that was OG too, man. That was original. Jerry, I would never thought that one. All right, stick Moreno.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is so cool because those are stories that we would never uncover in a classroom because it takes years to finally come back and you realize this is such a small thing. Look at you, years later, and those are the small things that you remember. That is amazing. Thank you so much for being so open and honest and so transparent. So thank you again. So I'm going to start off with let's go with Alyssa. Alyssa, let's start off with you. Um, let's look back, looking from the outside. You know, you were in school, you were a classroom, you were a student, and you can always feel the vibe in the school. You know, when there is something going on, that's kind of what we call culture in a school. So,
Right.
what do you think a school needs to do to maintain a healthy culture for students? What do you think that schools need to do today to make sure that the students in there remain positive? It's a positive environment, that they're thriving, that they're doing really good. What could schools do, in your opinion, now that you're away and you're out?
Well, I feel like, as I said earlier, prayer should always be in school. Cause if you have God, you have. If you don't have God, you don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that would be part of the positivity. Um, have some good teachers, some good role models like Mr. Tovar and yourself. Um, yeah, I think that's positive people bring positive
Positive,
vibes.
positivity.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Nothing negative.
and
Anybody kind of talking down on you
right,
or saying that you don't believe or I don't believe you or
right.
those kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely. We need to make sure that we have a positive attitude for whatever reason, whether you're having a bad day, because we all have bad days sometimes. I'm sure you guys all remember when your mom would say, No te voy a dar dinero. You're not going to get any money. And we would be like, What? You know, we would be pissed off. I
Cause we
remember.
have ice cream and some chips at the school.
Exactly, exactly. And so you would get mad because your mom wouldn't get, and so then you're having this, little attitude, and then teachers are,
Right,
oh, where's your ID? That's that whole thing, right? So,
right.
be positive because you never know what students are coming in with from all of the stuff that's going on at home, right?
Yep.
I think that's what you're talking about.
And energy jumps. So like, you could be sad, Mr. Tovar could be sad, everybody in here could be sad, and I'd be happy, right? That my energy would jump on y'all, or either y'all energy would jump on me. So, I feel like everybody should be positive in school.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Alyssa, for sharing. How about you, Paula? What can schools do today to have a positive culture in their schools?
I don't think that there's really like a perfect answer. I don't think people are looking for like the perfect instructor, the perfect principal. They want someone who's just present, and I think that's just something applicable in any life scenario. There's a theory that I like to tell my kids: everybody's carrying an invisible backpack, and you just don't know. So always assume positive intent. Assume a positive intent, and I think that just having, instructors who are present and who have that positive intent and are curious about, what could someone could be experiencing, and just being, just intentional with their approach. I think that would continue to just have a better culture overall in school systems. And I don't know, kids are going through so much, like hormonally and just, at
Mhm.
home and things like that. So just assuming positive intent and just being present and intentional with your approach, I think would really add to a positive culture.
Awesome, awesome. I love that you said an invisible backpack. I love that because that is so true. We don't see half the things that are happening with our students. We have to kind of ask those questions and probe to find out what is going on. Thank you so much for sharing that, Paula. How about you, Jerry? What can schools do today to build that positive culture?
No, I would have to agree with Alyssa and Paula on this one. We really don't know what every student is going through in their own personal lives, right? There's so many stories. There's so many different scenarios here. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about teachers here or educators, I think that, having a positive mindset all the time. I mean, of course, they're going through their personal lives as well. I mean, we can't ask for that, right? And I already said it. Teachers go through a lot. I mean, it's too much work. I feel like teachers get underpaid. I'm always, advocating for teachers, but but at the end of the day, all we want is a genuine person, somebody that actually does care, like Mr. Tovar and yourself, ma'am. I mean, I don't really, know you in the education world, but it seems like you are a great educator. Um, but yeah, somebody genuine that's just gonna care, about the students and their well being, and they're pushing and they don't give up.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And so often you hear teachers, sometimes say, "Well, they don't want my help, so you know what? Forget them. I ain't gonna help them." You get that sometimes,
Hmm.
right? And what you're hearing, folks out in the virtual world, what you're hearing from these former students is that we cannot have that attitude. We cannot, if they say, "Leave me alone, you do too much," it means leave them alone for just a little bit, maybe tomorrow, the next hour, approach them. Don't go towards them sideways, as they say, right? You want to make sure that you are approachable and have that growth mindset and supporting them. Thank you so much, Jerry, for sharing. Amaris, I know you have something for me.
Yes, so honestly, I feel like teachers need to keep the students in mind and do stuff for their best interest. Because I feel like some teachers just treat the job like whatever, like, oh, you have to do this because, they're telling me you have to do this. Like, they need to work with the kids and understand that, like, the kids, they're all so different. Like,
Hmm.
and like we were talking about I was talking about my dad, like you're like their parent. Like, even though you're just a teacher, you're just an AP, you're their parent. You are their guidance. You're trying to better them for their future.
Hmm.
Just think of them. Don't treat it like it's whatever, because honestly, these kids take a lot of the things you say to heart and they take it with them
Yes.
forever.
Yes. I think what they're talking about, Josh, right here is what we've been talking about for, almost 97 shows now. Relationships, right? You got to build that relationship with students and let them know that someone said it, Dot said it earlier. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you know what? You guys just basically just nailed it right there.
So true, so true. And I know for a fact that everybody on the panel, Alyssa had to depart, so we wish you adios. We miss you. Hearts to that jaguar that's gone. Um, but right now, I know you all were involved in extra stuff, clubs, organizations, athletics, and so many different things in your school. So, first, I want you to reflect on being part of something that was not your normal schedule, obviously, right? Not just the academics, but the outside stuff. And what would you recommend? Talk to right now a rising eighth grader. When I say rising eighth grader, that means next year they're going to be a freshman, or a rising sixth grader who will be in middle school. Why is it so important for them to be involved in outside of just the schedule? Does that make sense? Not just the 8 hours in the day, have your lunch, and then go home and do homework. Why is it so important to be involved in all these other things, Paula?
Just the power of networking. I feel like that one of my closest friends that I have now here that have helped me go through so many different life changes and seasons of life have been people that I met through theater arts, through soccer, through classes that I would have never really ever crossed paths with them, and they've been very influential into my life. So I think that expanding your network and also kind of like being adventurous about your skills and your talents is so awesome. For for I think my senior year in the yearbook, I won most likely to be famous because I was in theater. Am I famous now? Absolutely not. But that gave me so much confidence, and it just helped my self esteem so much more because of the opportunity that I gave myself to go into something that I would have never thought I would be good at. So just network, and just the way that it helps you grow your self esteem and your confidence in just
Mhm.
trying areas or things that you would have never done. It's really, really helpful.
but I don't know what I like. I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I just started being a seventh grader in middle school. I'm a freshman in this big school. How do I know?
Just try something that you think you might be good at, and even if you don't, use it as a challenge. Challenge yourself and say, hey, you know what, I'm not musically inclined. I'm gonna challenge myself. Let's go see what's out there. I think that challenging yourself is probably the best way to begin something new. And then you might be right, you might prove yourself right and say, this is definitely something I'm never gonna do again. But that way you start also doing some self-reflection and identifying what your strengths are as you become an adult.
Love
Awesome.
it. Jerry, thoughts?
Well, my networking was a little different, but I would have to say just going out, meeting with friends after school, and I know you said not to mention partying and stuff like that, but yeah, I would have to include that. Obviously, be smart about it, be responsible, don't do stupid stuff, right? That's going to get you in trouble later on. But I think, yes, I would have to agree with Paolo on that one. Networking is a big thing, especially when you grow up. And I mean, you start needing things, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
do you know of any good mechanics? Yeah, you know what? I know this guy that I went to high school with, and I know he does
Mhm.
some mechanic work. Here's his number or her number, right? Uh, but but yeah, networking. What else? I think just staying busy as far as like what really helped me out. And this is something personal. I grew up a little bit angry. I don't know, very passive angry, and now I'm like the most patient guy ever. But but
What's the secret, Jerry?
well, I would say martial arts, some type of martial art. People think that people that practice some type of martial arts or boxing, kickboxing, that type of thing, that they're just angry people that are looking for fights, and that's not the case. If anything, we're always trying to avoid fights. So I think that's a very good scenario because, like me, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and
Mm.
getting choked out and having somebody trying to kill you literally, it kind of trains your mind to get out of like very hard situations, and
Mhm.
that applies in life as well. So if you're going through something like financially, or you have a relative pass away, or something, you're in between jobs and you don't know what to do, or if you're trying to see where you're trying to take the next step, let's say in college or something, that's going to help your mind make a decision in a calm environment.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. Exactly. Amaris, close us off.
I would say it's important for middle schoolers and freshmen to do extracurriculars for their mental health. I feel like a lot of kids are stressed, and doing something on the side or after school can keep you distracted, keep you out of trouble. Just help you again find something that you like to do, because everyone's so different. There's people that like music, people that like sports. There's anime clubs at the high schools now, so there's something for everybody.
Mhm.
Well, there's gaming. Could you believe that? There's
Yeah.
gaming
And
now. It's beautiful. There's so many things that are out there for kids. And obviously, back in the Jurassic period when I was going to school, they didn't have all this stuff. And
no.
I mean, it's truly the whole world is open for you out there. And so take that opportunity to get all of this free, air quotes, free training as you can, either in middle school or high school, because a lot of these STEAM programs start in middle school, and you can end up with the engineering
Mhm.
pathway. You can end up with all these early college, Amaris, early college, medical magnets, all the things that you had there, criminal justice program at Isleta High School. I mean, and it goes on and on and on
Yeah.
to prepare you, and it will make you truly, as our panel has discussed, a well-rounded individual, not only with a high school diploma, but with other opportunities in life once you cross that stage. Moreno.
So, guys, this is going to be a very interesting question because back when Josh and I went to school, we didn't have cell phones, right? And so I know you guys, Paula, don't be laughing at us because we had little pagers and we needed a quarter to go put it in the public phone so we can call somebody. So I know you guys grew up probably, we had, better phones back then. But guess what? Now they're banned, right? So cell phones are no longer allowed in schools during school hours. So I'm just kind of curious. And Jerry, I'm going to start off with you. Jerry, because many states just ban cell phones, what's your opinion on this new law?
Well, from the safety standpoint, I would have to disagree with it because simply, I mean, me being in law enforcement, I had to respond to the shooting with the Walmart shooter here in El Paso. I don't know if you guys remember that one,
Yes. Uh-huh.
but I had to respond to that one, and I feel even though the cell phone towers were saturated during that day, I feel like school shootings have been, I guess it's like a thing now, I guess, but I mean, which I strongly disagree with, right? But having a cell phone, like for example, your kids, I always told my daughter, because she started asking me questions. She's 9 years old, and she started asking me, Dad, like, what's all this all about the school shootings and everything, right? So, I told her, you know what? If something was to go down, just text us or call us or try to get a contact of one of us. Like, I mean, I'll be there in 5-10 minutes, and I'll try to get you. And then after that, just try to hide somewhere and don't make any noise. I know it's a scary feeling and whatnot, but don't try to make any noises and this and that, right? But that's probably the best thing you could do as a parent, right? Just try to train them. God willing, knocking on wood, right? It never happens, in our kids' schools. But from a safety standpoint, I would have to disagree. From an educator standpoint, I would have to kind of agree with it. I know that kids nowadays, me as a customs and border protection officer, I work the line sometimes, and whenever I'm trying to talk to the kids, they're like this with their cell phones, and they're not even talking to you
Mhm.
anymore,
Mhm.
and it's become a thing, where the cell phones is like super important. It's more important than what's actually even happening at the in front of you, like in the real world. But with that being said, I mean, I guess it would have to depend on who you're asking, I guess.
Hmm.
But I think it's important to have cell phones in schools. I mean, obviously, don't overdo it. It's like everything else. If you overdo it, it's too much. You're doing something wrong. But if you have a little bit of it, then yeah, all right.
Okay, setting parameters
Yes,
because it is important to have something there because you know what, schools is it's not the same, right? Everything is very scary. There is a lot of people out there, a lot of bad people, and you know what?
yes,
Unfortunately, these things are important for all of us. It's part of our lives, and so sometimes people and policymakers make rules that are so rigid that doesn't make sense. So I'm just kind of curious, Paula, what about you? What do you think about banning these things from schools?
My audio, because it was coming out staticky when I was hearing Jerry. Jerry, can you hear me? Okay. So,
Staticky.
am I staticky?
It's staticky again. ¿Qué hiciste, Paula?
I have no idea. I did something. Sorry.
Okay, you wanna log back, whatever you did before, do it again. Okay, let's go to Amaris in the meantime. Amaris, what do you think about banned cell phones?
I personally think it's, again, a safety thing that I think the kids should have their phones. But, again, I'm a substitute. Like, hey, get off your phone or go turn it in. It's a, it's a attitude issue. Like, the kids, they'll be like, oh, miss, you have your phone. And I'm like, well, I'm not using it, but, just put it up in the little pocket. And no, it's just, like discipline, like I have to get on them for their phone when it's something so simple as just like put it away. But because you told them to put it away, they get mad.
Yeah.
So I think the kids should just have their phones. They're gonna have it anyways. They have it in the hallway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those issues where it's kind of hard to enforce when it's loose like that. It makes it very difficult. And so I know, Josh, you don't have a problem with cell phones because you got it under control, sir, under your school, right? Oh, no, Paula's here. Paula,
I'm
can I hear?
here.
Paula,
I'm here.
awesome. Tell me about cell phones. Talk to me about cell phones real quick.
I think short answer is I do believe we do need them. The main purpose of a cell phone is to it's a line of communication in case of an emergency. Is having 10 people call and just try to be proactive if they see something and they want to say something. I really, to your point, I think setting parameters, how we've done with like laptops and a bunch of other electronic devices that we've been able to implement into our school system, we should just you do the same, implement parameters, rules, and it's also going to help students become responsible with the way that they use them and they respond to rules and mandates and stuff like that. So I do really think we do need them. They do have a very positive purpose. And I have a very hard time as well trying to understand why it became such a big law to ban them. I obviously see how it could take away from educational time, but it also helps students become responsible, follow rules and stuff like that. So I do think we should allow students to have them.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for the awesome conversation regarding banned cell phones, Josh, because that's kind of the new thing now.
That is a new thing, and it's a everyday journey, and I see both sides about it. Big time, I see from what Jerry said because that's the reality that I live in. It's not just the kids. Educators on a campus have to each day face getting shot at.
Mm-hmm,
That's just a fact. That's my reality as I tell parents.
mm-hmm,
Hence, my
mm-hmm.
repercussion in a small place that I have is that no cell phones, because I need to make sure that they don't record fights in the bathroom, even though I don't have a fight problem. But in all schools, that's what kids record: the fights in the cafeteria, the fights in the bathroom. And I just think about it as a dad. Would I want my son to get jumped in the bathroom and some fools recording my son getting beat up because they're getting jumped and it's all over IG?
Right.
That's totally a traumatic thing for eons, and that they will always be. Remember in eighth grade when John got beat up? Oh yeah, I still got that video. Let me share that file. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, or kids vaping in the bathroom, and it's just a lot of things that go on with that, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's those kind of
Yeah.
situations that are going back and forth. All right, so let's. We're almost closing off the show right now. I don't know what did Amaris send us right now. I have to. Okay, got you. All right, thank you, Amaris. God bless you. Say hi to your dad for us. So real quick, I'm gonna ask you a straight out question. What could I have done better to help you? This is a Josh question, and everybody out there that sees the show, nobody knows the questions to other than the lightning round. I never give any of the guests the questions. Not There is no setup here whatsoever. And so I ask you straight out, Jerry, what could I have done to help you as an assistant principal?
Um, Give me $1 million and tell me how to invest it.
I was a broke Mexican back then, brother.
If you would have told me to invest $10,000 in freaking Bitcoin or Nvidia or something like that, I would have been a millionaire right now. And
Yeah.
Josh, come on, man. Why are you holding back on him?
All right. Paula, Ayala, Salas, Carmona, is there anything I could have done better to support you and help you?
I really can't think of anything, and I'm trying to be like nitpicky, and I really can, like I shared earlier, you were very influential in my teenage years, upbringing. I will say I was very grateful when I saw you come to my graduation when I got my bachelor's degree. I had the only person that attended was my husband and my kids, because I have a very small family. My mom passed away a month before I graduated, so it
Wow.
was a very emotional core memory for me, and having you there just made it better. So thank you. I think I've never had an opportunity to thank you. What a better way to do it publicly. You've been, like I said, a father figure for me. So I'm just very grateful for everything that you did. You couldn't have done anything more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And so everyone knows, when I reach out, I have a lot of my former students on social media, a lot of them. And I do reach out to a lot of them and I ask them, you want to come on the pod? I want to come. And They don't have the energy. They don't have the energy to do this like this. And so I just throw it out there, and I want to, and because I value them all. Obviously, the panel today was either a recent graduate from Memorial or from Amaris when she was in Socorro when I was her principal, or my 08ers. You just stay connected with them because it's one of those things where you just, as a pseudo parent, it really
Yeah.
gives you joy to see them evolve, and from walking into Isleta High School as little freshmen to what I see right now on my panel. It's like totally, it's a dad moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's an encouraging thing to look back and say, esto así me gusta. I like it that way. That's a beautiful thing. Moreno, stick.
Oh my God. I'm so excited and so blessed to kind of meet two amazing, actually four. The other two just left, but amazing people that Tovar has influenced and groomed and supported and kind of provided everything, all his energy. Because you know what? Being a principal is hard, man. It is extremely hard because you have all of these things coming at us, from the superintendent to parents, and then at the same time, taking care of the most beautiful children in our classrooms in our schools. And this is what we get to see. We get to see you guys grow up and have your own families and have great careers. And so thank you again so much. And so with that, I'm going to have you guys do a super easy question and then we're done. We're going to do the Échale Ganas moment. Okay. So I'm going to start off with Paula. I want you to finish this statement. If I was in charge of the education system in my state, I would blank to make it better.
I would incorporate prayer as
Incorporate prayer.
yeah, to make it better.
Interesting. Awesome. Jerry, what about you? If I was in charge of the education system in my state, I would blank to make it better.
Um, well, I would have to agree with Paula on that one. I think prayer is very important. Doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking, is at the top of my list. But
Mhm.
I would probably have to add social skills, like
Mm.
especially nowadays. I think kids are becoming very socially awkward, or but yeah.
Self-centered.
Yes, and you know what? I don't know if it's a shy thing that they're shy or they're scared, or I don't know what it is, but that's one thing I've noticed coming from a psychology background, that kids nowadays, yeah, I think cell phones has to do a big part of that. But yeah, I think that would probably be it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Prayer, I think it's important. Even if you just self meditate, we have so many different religions and so many backgrounds and so many people who believe in different things that I think just even allowing us to self center ourselves and really reflect on whatever God that you believe in, right? Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether it doesn't matter, but we need to be able to be ourselves and be able to really um support our culture and our belief system, and help teachers help us realize that because we forgot that sometimes, just like you talked about earlier, Jerry. We there's different things, and this cell phone, let me tell you, I've gone to restaurants and I don't know if you noticed, people don't even talk to each other. They're on their cell phones just kind of waiting for their food to show up because we don't socialize like we used to anymore because Minecraft or whatever is on this thing, Tetris, is more important. Josh, that was funny because I
Hi,
couldn't even
Moreno.
think of a real. I had to use Tetris or like
Moreno,
Pac-Man or
Tetris, really,
something.
Moreno? Moreno, really? Oh my goodness, that's good. All right. Oh, you reminded me. For all my current Jaguar Muslim kids, Eid Mubarak. It is Eid. Wishing you the best right now that Ramadan is over. Eid Mubarak to everybody. And we're about to finish right now with the lightning round. Lightning round, Jerry, we're going to go first. This is a PGP podcast. The Échale Ganas. Yo quiero que le eches ganas. Es un corazón. Yo quiero con corazón que me contestes. Y rápido and fast, all right? It's not going to be a long 10-hour per question. So make it nice and quick. Make it nice and quick. Here we go. Échale ganas question. Jerry, give advice to an active teacher and principal.
give advice. Any specific advice or?
Rápido, ándale, give advice.
Okay. So advice, just care about your students, pretty much.
What was your class senior song?
That one, you got me on that one. I believe it was One More Time by Daft Punk, if I'm correct.
The Warriors will throw shoes at you.
Yeah.
Send some flowers to someone that inspires you in your work.
To one, sorry, I missed the first one.
Someone that inspires you in your work.
Somebody send flowers to somebody that inspires in my work. I would have to say our union president, Gus Sanchez.
What's one song that inspires you as a person?
Oh, I would have to say
Lightning round.
there's one by Calvin Harris. I can't remember the name, but I can't remember that name. But yeah, it's a very inspirational.
What's your favorite
Yeah,
quote?
favorite quote. Ooh, I would have to say, wow.
All
I
right.
got so many. I got so many.
Shoot one out. Let's go.
Let me see. Favorite quote would have to be, "Do not be afraid," and that's coming from the Bible. Don't be afraid.
Knowing what you know right now, what advice would you have given your freshman self?
I would have to go back to investments. Uh, I would probably give myself some advice on investments.
What was your favorite TV show in high school?
MTV Cribs.
And if people want to learn about what you do, people want to get a little bit knowledge about Jerry, how can they get a hold of you?
They could reach me on my social media on Instagram at Jerry underscore 89A as Alpha.
Hola, Ayala, Salas, Carmona. Lightning
Give it to
round.
me.
Lightning round. Give advice to an active teacher and a principal.
Oh, it's getting staticky. Advice to an active teacher. You can hear me? No! No!
Hazlo rápido, hazlo rápido. Turn it off, turn it on.
Okay. Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to hear me. Can you hear me? No.
What kind of phone do you have? That's what I want to know.
Right?
I want to know what kind of phone so I do not get that phone.
Turn it off, turn it on.
Josh, you must be like a very, very excited, very. Oh, she's back.
Okay, it's my iPhone. It overheats. It's my iPhone. Okay, advice to a teacher: be patient, especially to the students that are quiet the most. They're quiet for a reason.
What was your senior class song?
I do not remember either. Whatever Jerry said, we graduated together.
Send some flowers to someone that inspires you in your job.
In my job, I would have to say, even though I don't work with my husband, he's a leader and he's just phenomenal and he's my mentor, my everyday mentor.
What is one song that inspires you as a person?
This Is What You Came For by Calvin Harris and Rihanna.
What is your favorite quote?
People will forget what you did or what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel by Maya Angelou. And this one's dedicated to you, Mr. Tovar.
Aww.
Knowing now what you know in life, what advice would you have given yourself as a freshman?
Just be confident in yourself. It's going to work out. And the reason why you're experiencing everything is because God's setting up to give you a beautiful garden.
What is your favorite TV show when you were in high school?
The Simpsons.
And if people want to pick that brain of yours and all the posts of outfit of the day, of all the cool traveling that you do, how can people get a hold of you?
Absolutely. For any collaborations when it comes to professional, I work for payroll and HR. You can find me on LinkedIn as Paula Salas. And for all the fun stuff, travel, vlogs, and outfits of the day, you can find me on Instagram as spouse_fashionista_files.
Oh my! Say it one more time. That was a lot of underscores.
Paus_fashionista, and then the rest you'll find me. It'll pop up.
Hey, she'll give you an outfit of the day. That's a fat
Yeah.
jack right there. Thank you, panel, for being here. Thank you, Amaris. Thank you, Alyssa, for being here today. And that's what we need to do as educators. We need to make sure that we always stay connected still to see how our formers are doing. That's what Cafela calls them, our formers. It's making sure that we always know and look back and go, you know what? We did an effective job. And obviously, relationships are different, they evolve over time. But this is how you get the little pulse as an educator, but not only a little pulse as an educator, but you get that spirit back in you. The little God wings, making sure that you know that you did your best and ultimate. And I ask you, educator out there, whether you be a Head Start teacher, whether you be a sixth grade teacher or a senior teacher, do your students know your name after they graduated?
Mm-hmm.
I just leave that as a homework for you. Do your 150 kids, do your 180 kids, do your classroom set of kids, 22 or 25, will they remember you 1 year after they leave? Yes? No? Yo no sé. Only you know. And it's not about social media. It's not about clicks or likes. It's about that connection that you did with your scholar,
Correct.
making sure that you inspire them to become the best version of themselves. And don't forget to join us next week. Like and share right now. Go right now. Go right now. I know a lot of you didn't see today because it was a special time, but like and share. Follow us on YouTube. We're almost at 250 followers. Woo! Mega numbers. It's not about that. It's about sharing those nuggets, that knowledge from our former students, from superintendents, from national speakers, from authors, everybody out there. And don't forget to join us next week for episode 99. Dr. Seuss in the Schoolhouse, number 3. 3 educators who wrote 3 brand new books, and they're there to inspire you. Panel, say goodnight to everybody. Don't hang up,
Thank you so
panel.
much for having us.
Don't hang up.
Don't hang
Bye.
up.
Don't hang
Thank
up
you.
yet. Don't hang up yet.
Thank you.